frugal living mistakes that are costing you money. So the first thing that we're going to talk about, since today is the 3-year anniversary of living in our home here in Wyoming, is not buying a house in a good neighborhood. Okay, we're probably going to get some flack for this. Now, believe me, we completely understand about not being able to afford housing. We have lived in pits that if we would have had YouTube at that time, people would have said, what are you people doing? There was one trailer house that we lived in, and it was skanky. This was before the internet was a big thing, and I rented it over the phone. I know. Do you forgive me yet?
No.
Well, we're still working on that one. But we rented that house, and we have rented several houses. And so we totally understand. But when we started buying houses, we made a huge mistake.
Well, even when we rented houses, like some things like that house, the Hoopy house, it would have been better to pay, even though we had very little money, it would have been better to pay more, even a little bit more for something better, because the stress was so great the entire time we lived there.
And Mike really should have found a better job.
What?
Instead of making $9 an hour with 2 kids and a wife, and had 2 house payments at the time. We were paying $900 in house payments at the time. And so our big mistake in houses is buying houses where you're going to lose money. So our very first house in Idaho, we bought the house. We thought we were going to stay there a long time. It was in a teensy tiny town. And we thought we would like this town. Well, we bought the house, lived there 3 years, and we ended up having to write a check for $8,000. We lost $12,000, but we had to write a check for $8,000 for someone to buy our house while he was earning $9 an hour. We took out a cash advance on our credit card for that. And one of the problems was the town was just so small that no one knew where it was. I mean, we were 70 miles from groceries. And so buying in a traditional neighborhood with middle-class people, you're going to be able to resell your house a lot better than if you're in a neighborhood where it's a pit. Another house we couldn't sell because the neighbor was a hoarder. And when they drove to our house, that was the first thing they saw in our neighborhood. The second thing they saw in our neighborhood, but still. And that was the number one reason people weren't buying our house.
But actually, what's interesting is Tara said we thought we would like the house in Idaho. We did like the house in Idaho, but what happened is...
No, I thought we would like the town in Idaho. I thought we'd like living in Espers.
We did like it though, right? It's just that I got a job somewhere else. And what we didn't anticipate is that you think you're going to stay in a place forever or for a long time, but anything could happen to make you need to go.
Yeah.
And so what we realized is we were taking advantage of a good deal in the short term, and we were setting ourselves up to lose big in the long term. And a lot of the things we're talking about today, that's kind of what they have in common.
So that's why when people say, well, I want to buy a house. I want to buy a house. I don't want to keep losing money while I'm renting. Let me tell you, on the first house in Idaho, we lost $12,000. He was making peanuts back then. So that was a lot of money for us. The first house we lost $12,000. The second house we lost $20,000 on. So $32,000 we lost in houses because we just bought stupidly with our houses. Now in Colorado, thankfully, we made up for it because we bought in a middle class neighborhood. We paid extra when we couldn't afford it for the 3-car garage and for the cul-de-sac lot. And Mike was like, you know what? We'll just figure out a way to pay for this, but we qualified for the loan fine, but we just personally didn't want to spend that much.
We paid extra for the 3rd-car garage and for the biggest lot in the neighborhood on a cul-de-sac because at that time, I think both of us understood this is not our forever home.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, when we go to sell it, this will be a good thing. And we learned from our past mistakes, because Idaho, we bought into a market that was declining. And we thought, well, first of all, we didn't really think about that. But secondly, we were thinking we were going to stay there a lot longer than we did. But the other house that Tara was talking about, we sold it for about the same price we paid. So the loss was in just having to do real estate fees and
$20,000 into upgrades. We put in fences and gardens and insulation and paint.
And so we learned, we just didn't learn enough. When we went to Colorado, we ended up buying a place that was obviously going to be appreciating pretty quick. And we stretched a little bit to get ourselves into that, even though we really didn't particularly love that house. But it did enable us to buy this house, which we really love. But even here, we don't ever intend to move. But we bought into a market that also was going up like crazy and is probably not going to go down.
So the moral of this story is, don't think that renting is a bad thing. Renting is not necessarily a bad thing.
Especially if you're not sure how long you're going to stay there.
What you save or what you earn in equity, a lot of times you save in maintenance costs and yard work and things like putting in fences and stuff like that. Even though houses are generally a good investment, they are not the only investment, and you can retire rich renting if you wanted to. Now, do I prefer home ownership over renting? 100%. I'll buy a house anytime over renting for my needs, for what I'm needing. But I love to garden. I like decorating my house, so I want to be able to do whatever I want with my house. But if you don't really care and you're okay with renting and you like it, don't think you're losing out money on renting. All right. The next one is cars. We don't buy Fords, we buy Toyotas.
Well, there's a lot of stuff we learned
about
about cars.
That's about as un-American as you can get. But
well, Toyotas are made in America, I think, aren't they now?
Are they now? I don't know. I don't know.
But it's more than that. The issue on cars is that when we had virtually no money, we were at the very lowest end of what's the absolute dirt cheapest vehicle we could get. But we started realizing those vehicles were needing a lot more maintenance cost, and they weren't lasting very long. And that was a big problem for us. And there was a point where, after having a couple cars like that, in those days, we were spending like $1,000 or $1,500 on a car, which in those days was a cheap car, but not unheard of, not ridiculously super cheap. But there's a point where we thought, what if we spend $3,000 on a car instead of $1,500? And we had saved to get that, and the $3,000 car ended up needing maintenance, like instead of like 6 or 8 times a year we had to go to the mechanic, it was like once a year. And that was a great deal. And as we progressed, we accidentally bought a Toyota at one point from a guy who was getting rid of it, because we were thinking this is going to be great for our family because we have 7 people in the family, and this is a good, reliable car. And he was getting rid of it because he and his wife were about to have their first child, and they thought it wasn't a good enough car. So we paid $3,000 to get that from them, and it lasted. We still have it. It's been 10 years.
Yeah, 10 years.
So, and it's still.
And it's a 20-year-old car.
It has virtually nothing wrong with it.
25-year-old
It needs
car.
about $700 worth of repairs that aren't emergency repairs, but I was going to go ahead and do that just because taking care. Another thing we learned about cars is taking care of them works. Like, there's a point where we were thinking, in the old days, it was like, wow, the window won't roll down on this side, so we're going to be frugal. We can't really afford that. We're not going to change that. Well, then, now the air conditioner isn't working, but well, that's we're going to be frugal. What we realize is when you start doing that, I mean, it's one thing if it's something fancy about the car, like a trim thing fell off that's like fancy looking, but when you start taking operational things and you start not repairing them, it's the death knell for your vehicle.
And it makes your life miserable. Having to drive a car where, one thing breaks down or another thing breaks down, or, it makes your life miserable. So get a car that's reliable. And then the next thing on that is to keep the maintenance up on the car. And we just buy we do buy exclusively Toyotas now, and that's what we stick to. Now, we live in an area here where so does everybody else. So we have a really super hard time finding them. And so if anybody has a Toyota that you're selling in the Wyoming area, please let us know.
Well, the other thing about those is even with the Toyotas, we look at them to see, are they kept, how well are they kept? Like the one we bought last December, it was pristine.
Yep.
One owner, she was asking pretty much the book value for it. And she had taken it to the dealer for all the oil changes every 3 or 5,000 miles. She just took care of it like everything. And so that was the magic formula for us on cars. What we noticed is just because it's a Toyota doesn't mean it's great. We bought a Toyota from a kind of sketchy, thought it was a private party sale, but it's a guy who was a sort of a dealer out of his house. But that one we overlooked one tiny detail about it that could have been suspicious, and it turned out to be a major deal, which was it appeared that it might have had some water in it before. And
we had floods in Colorado, and we're pretty sure that it had been flooded.
So we learned at that point, even a Toyota, you have to be careful. So like when we were looking for the one we got in December, I would crawl underneath it and go straight to the oil pan and put my finger on it and think, is there oil coming out of this thing? Because oil leaks are the hardest thing to diagnose most of the time. And if it's leaking oil, it's a no. I mean, there's one small thing I know of that might be okay, but in general, if it appears that any major fluids are leaking, it's a no.
Now, there are other cars that are reliable. The Toyotas aren't the only reliable cars out there. So just go.
We had a Honda that was really reliable.
So just go do your own search and look at the top 3 or 4 or 5, and then whatever meets your needs, then you can look at that. So we're not just saying you have to be a Toyota snob by any stretch of the imagination. We do just because we know them. And it's easier just to pare down for us. But
also within your budget, like our budget right now allows us to look at Toyotas. It doesn't we don't go buy them new. We never buy a new car, but we will try to get the best deal we can on one that has a reasonable amount of life left in it. And another thing I was going to mention on that is we did look at 5 or 10 of them before we bought this one. And pretty much most of the ones we saw, it was clear that the person who owned it just didn't maintain it very well. So we hard pass. And there were a lot of times where, it probably would be okay, but clearly the lady doesn't check the oil and there's this issue that we're not really sure about. And if you start having to make excuses for those things, I would hard pass. Because the thing is, if you have to look at 10 or 15 of them and you save a lot, and you don't have to deal with the thing breaking down right away, it's totally worth it.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. The next one is medical and dental stuff.
Oof.
Now, I know this is really hard now. And even if you don't have insurance, we have not had dental insurance for, oh my goodness, 15 years? Probably.
Since I had a job last, a regular job. When was that?
You haven't had work in the last
2008.
So, so 15 16 years.
Well, the thing is, now that we're self-employed, we discovered that the cost of, do you want me to say that or do you want to say it?
Go ahead.
Now that we're self-employed, we discovered that we can get dental insurance. But I was looking at how much are the premiums on the dental insurance and how much do we pay in a year and how much is the deductible and how much will it pay if we need a problem. And I realized we would be paying more for the premiums as self-employed people than the maximum amount the policy would pay us.
Yep.
So financially, it just didn't make sense. So
most dentists give you cash discount, but we have noticed that if you don't stay up on your dental care, it can come back to bite you in the butt later.
It'll bite you real bad. Like if you let your teeth go, then it'll become way more expensive, and they're really not replaceable.
Yeah. The next thing is, all right, guys, put your comments and questions in the comment thing there. Oh, before I get to the next one, I guess I forgot. Dining on a Dime cookbooks, guys. It is our 25th anniversary of when we started this business officially. I started writing the cookbooks in 1997. But in 1999, 25 years ago, Mike bought me my first website domain, first of many. I'm a serial entrepreneur. And volume 1 came out. Back then it was called Not Just Beans, but volume 1 came out, and then volume 2. And we also have our gluten-free, dairy-free edition now. Also, 40% off for our anniversary sale. Now, I know I said this back at Mother's Day. We don't have 40% off except for Mother's Day and Black Friday normally. But I was like, oh my goodness, it's our 25th anniversary sale. We got to do something special.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
Easy recipes. You can get in and out of the kitchen quick with recipes your family will love to eat that uses ingredients you already have on hand. And just so you know, I spend about $400 a month feeding 2 adults, Mike and I, and then 2 basically adult sons. The next one is things like hiking boots. And you're like, Tara, what are you talking about? So Mike and the boys like to hike, but if they don't have proper hiking boots that have a good tread on them, then they're going to end up in the hospital, which is going to cost us even more. So they buy higher quality hiking boots than just the cheapy ones at Walmart, so that they have a good grip, they're waterproof and all that.
And the ones we buy aren't like, when she says higher quality, it's not like $500 boots. What are they? $100, yeah. $100 for the boots. But what happened is we were noticing we were buying shoes that are sort of crossover shoes, boots on Amazon. And I was noticing, wow, like Jack is slipping and falling on the rocks and stuff like that. And one day I said to Tara, wow, you know what? One pair of shoes at $100 is cheaper than a single office visit at the doctor. And we're like, yeah, that's true. So because we do that so much, we realize that's something we probably should be spending some money on.
Yep.
We're not like Imelda Marcos just collecting shoes and boots.
Yeah. Okay, now this
I
one.
just made a call out to the old folks like us.
Now this one's going to be controversial because I tell people to do this all the time. But using coupons. Now, I don't actually tell you to use coupons per se, but like the paper coupons aren't necessarily good. Now, I will use the digital coupons, but now it's getting to the point where I went to Gillette, Wyoming, the big city.
Yep.
30,000 people.
Wow. How was it in the big city?
It was the big city.
I
got to go to... Oh, I found the cutest thing at Hobby Lobby, and I didn't buy it. And now I'm wishing I would have. And it's going to be gone by the time I go back next. But that's okay.
Our city feels like the big city right now.
I know, it does. It's Rodeo week here in Sheridan. And
the Old West is in Sheridan.
Yeah, probably 10, 15 more thousand people in town. I don't know how many people. A lot of people in town. And it's getting to the point where yesterday I spent a half an hour getting the Kroger app on my phone. This is Albertsons, but to go get the Kroger deal. Now, you have to sit and calculate if these things are actually worth it or not. Now, when I went yesterday, the things that I was buying on sale were going to save me way more than the 30 minutes it took me to get the dumb app on my phone. And we're going to have Kroger coming. Our Albertsons is going to be Kroger now here. So I'm going to use it in the future. So I knew I had to get it set up anyway. But sometimes using coupons doesn't save money. If it's for a name brand product and the store brand is cheaper, that doesn't necessarily mean you're saving money. If
it's
it takes
just persuading you to buy something that's more expensive.
Yeah. If it takes you a long time to dink with all these apps and stuff, and let's say you could be working, making $100 an hour, then it's not worth the headache of using digital coupons and stuff like that. So calculate if these things are actually worth it. If you're like on day before yesterday's show, she was earning $23 an hour and spending 2.5 weeks a month just paying for her groceries because she wasn't shopping correctly. That would be a great case to use coupons, but not everyone will be able to save money using print coupons. The hassle may not be worth it. Sometimes it's truly not worth it. So you need to actually count the cost.
Actually, speaking on the dentist thing, I was going to mention also, for any service, like anything, dentist, car repairs, whatever, we try to find someone that we know really well to ask for advice on where the best place to go is. Because even now with Google reviews and things like that, you just can't trust them, especially if it's just stars, because places are bribing people to give them good reviews, like, oh, hey, give a good review and you'll be in a drawing for $100,000 or something, or whatever. And so if you see a place that has 5 stars and 8,000 people have all rated it 5 stars, it's a scam. And it's hard to tell sometimes on that. But like with the dentist, I think we found a dentist that seems to be really good. But the way we found it is we know a lady who's like the social organizer of Sheridan.
She happens to be a dental hygienist.
We just said, hey, who do you recommend? And she sent us to a place that seems great. We don't just go to a place because they have necessarily certain things like car repairs, doctors and dentists. If they have a cheap price, we don't necessarily go there just because of that. Like, we want to know from people that have really been there, because it's fine to get it cheap, but if it's cheap and they don't solve the problem, it's not cheap anymore.
All right, now this wasn't going to be my next tip. I'm going to save it for another one, but since Kimberly mentioned it, guys, put your comments and questions in the comment section and we will answer them. Kimberly said, I put a post on X yesterday that Dollar Tree is actually getting more expensive than Walmart. It's breaking us. That post is really going crazy. It's obvious a lot of people feel the same way. Yes. Stop thinking because you're shopping at the cheap store that it's actually cheaper. There are a lot of things like shampoo and toothpaste and some foods, spices are another big one, that aren't actually cheaper at places like Dollar Tree because the bottles are so small. So you're getting, let's say, I don't know the exact numbers, but I'll just give you an example. Let's say you get some Suave shampoo and it's 10 ounces for $1.25 at Dollar Tree, but it's 15 ounces for $1 at Walmart. Know your prices. That's where the price book comes in. In the back, we have extra spaces for you to put your little items like that you get all the time. Then I know what things are cheaper at Dollar Tree and what are cheaper at Walmart. Those are my only 2 options unless the grocery store. I don't buy anything that's non-food at the grocery store. I don't buy laundry detergent, anything like that at the grocery store. So don't assume that shopping to Dollar Tree is cheaper. Now, if you don't have transportation and Dollar Tree is your only local store, well, of course, that's cheaper than owning a car, and that's fine. But Dollar Tree, Teresa says Dollar Tree is $1.25 and Walmart is 98 cents. Yeah. So make sure you actually know your prices. So I'm curious, guys, type 1 if you type 1 if you shop at Dollar Tree more, or type 2 if you shop at Walmart more. I'm kind of curious how many people, where your top shopping is. Because here we have Dollar Tree, Family Dollar, and Walmart. Family Dollar is way expensive. It's crazy expensive. Walmart is usually the cheapest for me, and then Dollar Tree is if I'm desperate and I need something strange that only, oh, wow, a lot of people shop. Oh, yeah, mostly everybody shops it because you guys are smart and check your prices.
All right.
Very good. Very good. Yeah. Now, I understand. Like I said, I understand. If it's your own, go ahead and send it to me. If it's the comments, if it's your only your neighborhood store, that's totally fine. I mean, that's still cheaper than getting a car. So I totally get it. So, yeah. All right. Mike's going to send me your comments and questions, and we are going to get on that. We're going to make a just a brief announcement here while he's getting those sent over to me.
Before that, we probably will be we have a huge list of frugal things not to do if you really want to save money. And we were talking about breaking that list up and making it into videos so you can see the specific individual ideas, because there's a lot of them.
Yep. Okay. So while Mike's getting me those comments, questions real quick, we just wanted to announce real quick that we have stopped giving away the free Bibles. Thank you so much to all of you who donated. Mike emailed a lot of our regular donors that helped us with that to let them know, but we have stopped giving away the free Bibles. Thank you so much for your help with that. It just got to the point where the fraudulent orders were way outweighing the legitimate orders. I mean, it was just literally getting ridiculous. Last week we had one person ordered 10 addresses or something on their street. They were nuts.
Creating lots of different users and fake email addresses and stuff to get tons of free ones. And I figured out all sorts of ways to catch a lot of them, but I was finding like it hasn't happened that much just in the last week we did it, but we were getting like 50 to 60% of them were fraud.
Yeah.
And it was just getting out of control. And we do still offer them at our own cost, which is pretty cheap. But I actually found out that they're cheaper directly from the publisher. And I put a link on our page that links people there too, if they want to do that.
So just so you guys know, Mindy's in Gardner, Montana. We know where that is.
Oh, that's beautiful there.
We were just there last week. Well, no.
Do you work for the park?
Yeah. Do you work for Yellowstone? I don't know. Huh.
Well, actually, she says from Vermont, but I'm in Gardner right now. So you probably do work for the park.
That's funny. Yeah, that's interesting. So thank you everyone for helping with that. But we feel like this is just the time to go ahead and close it up. We have some changes coming up here the end of this month, August 1st. So we thought this was a good time to go ahead and do that. No, Mindy is on vacation. Well, you picked a pretty place to go on vacation.
Really nice. Yeah, Monica says weird to cheat to get a free Bible. I know, we were just kind of shaking our heads, but we've run into a number of problems too, where people were sending them to people that didn't want them, and the law enforcement was calling us, asking if we had information on who ordered it, and it was just getting crazy. And
we realized were not happy getting a Bible when they didn't want one.
We realized, and the other thing is that lots of them were coming back from the post office, and we just felt like it was bad stewardship of the resource that God provided to have people sending them off into the black hole, kind of.
Yeah.
So this way, they're available for, a very low price, but I think that would pretty much eliminate the scams, because the scams are just trying to get free things. So yeah. It's unfortunate we couldn't keep doing that, but.
All right. We just wanted to make sure we were good stewards of the money that God has given us and that you guys donated also. So we did not want to abuse that.
Yeah, we definitely felt like we wanted to be true to the people who were donating for that, and to God.
Edifying says, do you forgive me? No hesitation. No, she was laughing at that. Please forgive me for renting that awful, awful house. Oh, my goodness.
No,
we need to tell our story on that house sometime, because that house, I mean, I'm not kidding. It really can't get a whole lot worse than that.
Actually, I don't really hold it against her. Like, at the time, I should have, I don't know. We were kind of desperate, and she rented it over the phone, and we hadn't seen it, and there was no internet at the time. Well, the internet was barely
just started.
It was barely something, so there was no way to send pictures of it or that kind of stuff to make it easy to find out. And honestly, if we've also matured over the years. So I think if we were,
but you haven't.
If we were in the situation,
see how no gray hair.
Well, all of my maturity's gone in my brain.
Oh, not in your head.
But there are things that we put up with back then that even in the financial situation we were in back then, we now realize we should not have put up with. Like, we should have just blown up that deal right away. We should have just said, sorry, we're not renting your place. It's a complete dump. And
taking
you misrepresented
the guy to court. Yeah, taking the guy to court.
Because we could have probably ended up in a better place. And it was a highly stressful place to live for 6 months, which is the minimum we could get away with because we signed that lease. But I would have just said, hey, you know what? You violated the terms of the lease already, so we're not going to do that. But in those days, I wasn't old and wise and shrewd enough to know that you could just do that.
Kimberly says we've absolutely dealt with the timing when we found out our farm 19 years ago. It's not worth triple what we pay. It's now worth triple. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, even this house has already gone up almost $300,000 since we have lived here, which is insane. We could sell our house and retire, and that would be great, but we just really, really love it here. So we'll figure out retirement for earning more money. But yeah, you know, we could do story after story with bad house deals. Letty, Idaho is crowded. Yeah, it is now. Oh my goodness. Our house in Idaho that we paid $27,000 for it. And what was the address there? 308?
308
308. 308 Maple. Now it is worth, let's see what it's worth now. I know, but it $127,000. We could have made $100,000 if we would have held on to it for 30 years. That's not worth holding on for 30 years. Oh my goodness.
Well, especially compared to how much we did on the Colorado house. That
wow.
one really increased greatly.
Wow. That's crazy. Oh my goodness. Okay, let's see. Just Vicky. Hey, gonna be extreme frugal time. My AC unit died today. Oh, praise God. I was able to pay half on a new unit, a small help from sister, and the HVAC guy allows payments. That is great because this is an awful time. We went to the rodeo parade this morning.
It was almost 100 degrees out.
Man, it was hot.
At 10 a.m. Yeah.
And we were in the shade, and pretty much, let's see, they had like 100 entries. Excuse me. I don't know why I keep having the hiccups. There's like 100 entries, and probably half of them had water guns that they were shooting into the crowd.
It was awesome.
Well, until you got hit with a nuke one, and they just absolutely soaked you. What are those called? Soaker guns or whatever?
Oh, the super soakers.
Yeah.
I think because I was smiling and standing up, I must have stood out because everyone was shooting at me. I told our friend I wouldn't make a good Old West lawman because I'm too big of a target. She was laughing about that. So,
but Mike and Jack got to go to the rodeo last night. We got free tickets. And actually, it's funny. I didn't tell the realtor, but the realtor that sold us this house asked if anybody wanted tickets, and I forgot to tell him it's the anniversary of us moving. But we remember in this house moving in, and it was 106 that day. And we worked until like 5 o'clock or something and had to stop. And the trucks had to be back to Casper, which is 2 hours away, the next morning. And so we stopped about 3/4 of the way through and then had to finish the next morning. But we remember, we're like, what is all that noise? And we didn't know it was rodeo happening. But they got tickets to the rodeo, third seat from the very front, third row from the very front.
Thank you, Dave. That was so amazing. It was
Dave's the man.
It was I haven't been to a rodeo in a lot of years, but it was the very best. I grew up in Texas, but it was the very best rodeo I've ever been to. It was amazing. And I was just telling Bounty in the Badlands that I thought of them because there were a lot of people from Alberta, a lot of professional people from all over the world came, but I'd say there were a lot. I mean, there were a number from Wyoming and Colorado and close places, but then Alberta, a lot of people came from Alberta and they were good. I was really impressed with the whole thing. It was great.
They had the Indians down here and they were riding, they had a bareback race on unbroken Mustangs, basically. They had them for a week to break. And then they did this race where they would jump bareback on the horse, race around, jump off that one, switch to another horse. Like I said, it was absolutely crazy.
It's everybody's favorite part, the Indian relay. It's relays. And
so also, it was crazy watching them do that.
The Crow tribe, has a reservation just north of us, like 25 miles in Montana, and they come and represent every year, and they're so amazing.
They're cool. Yeah, they got cool costumes.
In the parade, they come with
costumes,
like tons of I don't know, 100 horses maybe.
Yeah.
And 7 or 8 floats, and they're all dressed in their amazing outfits, and then they do a powwow later. It's totally the Old West here. It's really, really cool. So a lot of people come, and in fact, our town right now has way more people in it than the normal population because of that.
Yeah. Okay, just a second. All right, next one is so yes, it's been very, very hot here. We go from it being so cold that my garden won't grow to now it's so hot my garden is literally burning up. I'm just like about ready to throw the whole thing and burn it. Well, and then the fires started yesterday. Did the fires start? It was yesterday. The fires have started here again. So
well, there's not one in Wyoming, I don't think.
There's 4.
Oh, they're in Wyoming?
Yeah. There's 4 of them.
We weren't sure where the smoke was coming from.
Yeah. Amira from McCall, Idaho. Hello. Oh, I was talking to my friend who's actually selling her product in McCall, and she called me yesterday and said she got an order from McCall.
It's been 30 years since we've been there, but we really loved it at the time.
Joanne says you can't always do what you want in a homeowners association. Oh my goodness, don't get me started on that. We had an HOA at our last house, and I will never do it again. She says she drives it. She bought a dive in the boonies, got it, and after 2 years, almost completely done. Like the area, have a garden, but lots of yard maintenance. Yeah, I mean, that's totally fine. And I understand. I have been there where we have fixed up houses and stuff, but because we made the mistake where we were living, it really cost us a lot of money because of the area of where the house was. Wow, lots of people buying Toyotas. Yep. Toyota fan. Yep. Highlander fan. Yep. 3 times a week. So we're doing our special 3 times a week lives through August, and then we're going to be making a few changes. Just Vicky, some dentists offer an in-house plan for saving dollars. Yes, they do. And she also says dental care is a priority. Yep. And many dental insurance policies only have a $1,500 a year payout. So if you have a lot of work done, it's out of your pocket. Yes. That is exactly right. And it was so incredibly frustrating. Katie, watched the $2,600 grocery bill video. Can you send me the next one? Video the other day and couldn't believe it. I spend $500 a month for 6 people, 2 adults, 4 tweens. Teens, we eat well. Just got boneless country ribs for $1.69 a pound. Yes, I just got boneless, skinless chicken for $1.79 a pound yesterday. Donice, I bought a brand new 2004 Elantra Hyundai and still have it. Very good. Only had the transmission go out. Yep, if you've had it that long, that would be great. Beth, what about regular shoes? What do you buy? So actually the guys mostly wear their hiking boots regularly, but we get Skechers for Mike and I. Well, all of us, I guess, we've gotten Skechers for the last ones. I have bad plantar fasciitis, and I've been trying to get new shoes, and I can't find anything that is comfortable. I'm having the hardest time now trying to find something that's comfortable.
Well, and for me, I was wearing the boots all the time. And then when I had a knee surgery, the physical therapist said, you shouldn't be using these all the time because that's not your normal way of walking. And it causes your Achilles to get shorter and causes more pain. So,
yep. Valley of the Badlands, I'm on a family dental plan. My kid became one. There you go. You better get your money's worth out of that one. Coffee Cup Conversation says Amazon is the worst for reviews. Yes and no. You have to learn how to read the Amazon reviews to know which are real and which are fakes. And
always read the words.
Some practice. Read the words. If they're not speaking proper English, you know it's probably a spam. Read the negatives. Don't just read the positives. Read the negatives and see. Now, if it says something like, well, they shipped it and left it on my front porch and I told them to leave it on the back door, I ignore those. But sometimes they'll say, I know there's all these reviews and they're really, really great, but these really did not work. And so that's how you kind of know how to do that. All right, Jennifer, have you tried HOAs? They're fabulous. I did, and they didn't work for me. And I got insoles, and those did not work. I've gone through 3 pairs of shoes so far, trying stuff out and sending them back. I got Skechers also. Those didn't work. I started with Birkenstocks 25 years ago, but I don't really feel like going back to those. I need a tennis type shoe. I found a sandal that's okay, but I need a tennis shoe. Sydney, yesterday I received $54 in free products from Kroger digital coupons. Some were cereal, trail mix, pasta, bacon, garlic powder. Very good. Bounty in the Badlands is in Alberta, and the Calgary Stampede is on. Lots of Americans doing very well here as well. The pros driving back and forth between 2 shows right now. Oh, wow.
Yeah, last night at the Sheridan Wyoming Rodeo, they were talking about the Calgary Stampede, and they were giving the credentials for a lot of people that were in, because a lot of them were professional, and they would say, oh, this person's like 3rd in Canada or 3rd in the US or whatever. And man, I was pretty impressed. I thought, man, there were so many people from Alberta. I thought they're really representing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Belinda does not have Dollar Tree in Australia, although they have a reject shop. Yep, that would probably work. Oh, happy day. We have 2 discount stores that beat both. They sell for 69 and 89 cents. That's great. Wow. Kenneth, tonight I'm going to have one of your meals with extra cheese. Thank you so much, Kenneth. Yeah, guys, our cookbooks, 40% off right now. If you want to save money on your grocery bill, quick and easy recipes to get you in and out of the kitchen fast that your family will love. Start with the red one, volume 1. That's our basic one. And then volume 2 is just the continuation of volume 1. All different recipes in both cookbooks. And our dairy-free, gluten-free, dairy-free cookbook. Also, we are on our last half pallet of volumes 2. So if you're needing any volume 2s between now and Christmas for gifts or anything, you might want to buy it now.
We will get more. We're just not sure if they might run out before we can get them.
Yeah. Thank you. This is my headband is actually one thing I did buy at Dollar Tree. Margot says we watch you. That's why we're smart. Oh, thanks. Did you turn that on? It's not on. Just Vicky, what a shame. Scamming Bibles. That is why we can't do nice things. Yeah. I mean, you should still do nice things anyway. But it was getting to the point where Mike was spending a lot of time dealing with the scammers. So we just
like 2 hours, 3 times a week.
Yeah. And for us, that's a lot of time when you're self-employed. So, and we weren't actually giving away that many legitimate free Bibles. And here's the thing. Bibles are like $5 at Walmart and $5 on Amazon. You could probably go to any church and ask for a Bible and they would give it to you. So, you know.
Well, the thing is also, you know, Ecclesiastes says there's a time for a season and a time for every purpose under heaven. And I think we were just feeling like God had us doing this way for a while. And now it didn't seem like he was really directing us that way anymore. So we're like, you know what, we can still offer it for a low price and tell people where they can, if you get it from the manufacturer, they give a bigger discount than we can give. And so we thought that seemed to work out pretty well that way.
Yeah. Ooh, man, guys, I'm going to have to try some of these shoe recommendations to see. Can you capture? Yeah. Can you capture all those for me?
I got a bunch of them.
Okay. Yeah, you can go ahead. Kathy, I do both Walmart and Dollar Tree. There's chili is pretty good. Yep. Very good. For one person for $1.25, better than $1.92. Yeah, that's where you got to know your prices. Rose, I prefer Winco and a local thrift store, which is fabulous. I rarely go into Walmart and Dollar Tree anymore. Good job. Amy, I love it when you show the shopping ads because I compare similar stores in our area. Your Albertsons is our Safeway. Your Kroger is our Fred Meyer. Yeah, they're all the same conglomerate. And what's funny is Albertsons and Kroger merger just happened. And it almost didn't happen because then they will be the biggest grocery chain in the country and they'll be a monopoly then. So the government was trying to keep them from becoming a monopoly. And they have to sell off like something like 600 stores or something like that, Albertsons, before they can do it. So Valley of the Badlands, 40 years ago, our first quarter section was $1,000 an acre. Quarter is 180 acres. Today, that same quarter section is $1.4 million.
Quarter's 180 acres? Huh.
So 180 to.
Here it's 160. I wonder if that's a U.S.-Canada difference.
Oh, really? Is it?
Do you measure hectares up there, right?
Hmm.
Huh. I'm just curious.
Christine, how are you guys doing? I'm curious. Email me and let me know how you're doing since you did your grocery audit almost a year ago. Almost a year
been
ago.
that long already?
Yes. Almost, like in 6 or 7 weeks.
Wow.
My father-in-law is leaving my husband and I his house when he dies, and his house is worth close to $500,000 now. Wow. Well, there you go. Did you send it to me?
Which one?
The next list.
Oh, I don't think I.
Okay.
Wait, hold on. Which one do you have last?
2. Crystal, do you think it's a good idea to start shopping for Christmas with Prime Day coming up? If you want to, that is fine. It spreads it out over the year, and I have absolutely no problem with that. Seeking Joy. I have not tried Merrill, actually. Seeking Joy. I have not tried that one.
It's coming at you.
I have tried New Balance. I have tried Skechers. I've tried Kuru. I've tried Holka or whatever it's called. I don't know. They're Asics. I've tried those. Tried a whole bunch of them. Okay.
The Skechers have been nice, but they don't last a really long time.
No, I had the Skechers 3 weeks and they had completely broken down. And I was like, good grief.
I've had
ridiculous.
them like 6 to 9 months, but they're very comfortable when I get them. Especially there was one that I asked Tara, and she found one that was like super squishy. So
yeah. Wanda, I wonder if I should post a negative comment on an AC company's Facebook ad. If they don't show up again today, it would be the second no-show. Monday was the first. It's after 4. Yeah, I definitely would. Jay No More. I thought the Crow tribe was from Kentucky. Must have been sent there long ago. I don't know.
Well, the thing is, I don't know. I was looking up the Crow because the Little Bighorn battlefield is on their reservation. But I was looking and I realized they've been allies to the Americans all along, and they were actually on the armies. They were scouts for the army at that time. But it seems that from what I saw, they were all over the Yellowstone Basin in southern Montana and in western Wyoming and our part of Wyoming and a little bit east. And then the Sioux and the Cheyenne, I guess, kind of pushed them further west. But I didn't hear anything about them being from down that far down, though.
I don't know. Cheryl says the rodeo sounds like fun. Yes. What's funny about the rodeo is when we first moved here 3 years ago, Jack went to school and he came home and he's like, Mom, what is a rodeo? And all his friends were talking about the rodeo and he had never been and he had no idea what it was. And so
we failed him.
I know. We failed his parents.
We failed him.
And so,
how dare you move your child to Wyoming and not tell him what a rodeo is?
So
he made up for it with the big old 40-gallon hat.
Yeah. So then at a garage sale, I found him I found him a 40-gallon hat. Let's see here. Here it is. So then at a garage sale, I found him this. Let me show you. Like 2 or 3 weeks later or something. And this thing is huge. And there is a green one. You guys probably remember me showing it. But, and I paid $1 for mine. And so then he had a birthday party, I don't know, a couple of weeks after that.
It was only like.
And they had to dress up as a Western thing, and he wore that. And oh my goodness, he got the biggest laughs from his friends. He thought that really helped him get connected in the school. Well, one of his friends is the princess queen or the rodeo princess this year, and Mike was joking around, and he said, Grace should call Jack up and say, this is my friend Jack. This really is his first rodeo. I thought that you're just.
I'm really glad the tickets our friend gave us were great. It was probably an amazing first experience for Jack at a rodeo. So
yeah,
we had a great time.
Actually, Cindy, I do have a pair of Bionic sandals that I love, but I haven't tried the shoes. Connie, we are getting ready for days of 76 at the end of the month, week-long rodeo. Oh, cool. I didn't know they did that over there in Deadwood, South Dakota. Lane, how was your pain doctor appointment? Well,
you say it.
Uneventful, shall we say? Okay, so I drove an hour and a half over to Gillette each way. And at 6:45 in the morning, I left. Get there, and he did a big long thing. And basically, he thinks that my fibromyalgia is being caused because I'm on Aleve and aspirin and ibuprofen every single day. And I said, well, that's fine, except that I went off all of them for a month one time and it didn't change anything. And he said, well, that's not long enough. You have to go off for 3 months. So went in there, and I have to take absolutely no painkillers for 3 months. So when we leave for our trip, I'm going to be a new woman, supposedly.
Hopefully.
I'm willing to give it a try. I'm willing to give it a try. I'm basically starting all over again for the 3 millionth time. I am off dairy, sugar, and gluten, and cutting the sugar has cut my pain down a lot. Also, I can actually sleep now, so that's good. But so right now I'm trying no painkillers for 3 months. He says it's rebound inflammation is what it's called. So if you're curious, you can look it up. That's what it was. Phyllis, look for Kid Sick. I have not tried those. Okay, I'll try that one. Roxanne says, I have tried Brooks, and I haven't tried OrthoFeet because I couldn't return them when I looked at them before. So if they didn't work, I don't mind paying $150 for shoes if they will take away the pain and I can walk again. And I did cure my plantar's fasciitis.
There were a number of questions about that.
Like 8 years ago. 8 or 9, 10 years ago. I don't know. Back several years ago. I cured it. And I was to the point where I thought I was going to be in a wheelchair or have to get crutches because it hurt so bad I couldn't even set my foot down. And so what I did was I got a massage gun and I ran it up and down my calf for an hour a day. I know that's a lot, but I did. I just sat and watched a video and just massaged. And in 2 weeks, it was completely gone. And I haven't been doing that lately. And Mike rubs my calves a lot. And so we haven't been doing that either lately. So it has come back with a vengeance. I'm working on it again, but I would like to try and get it under control. Now, I did have a pair of shoes called Telic. And, well, actually, so I have a knockoff, and it's like Crocs. I'm wearing them. Well, these aren't the Telics. These are a knockoff. But these I wear when my foot is acting up, and they're basically a Croc type thing, and those help my feet. But I'm looking for a tennis shoe. That's my problem. I'm looking for a tennis shoe. Now, the Bionic sandals are great. I used those when we went to Europe, and they worked really good. But I'm looking for a tennis shoe. Okay, try a medical supply for nurses. I hadn't thought about that. Beth loves her Bible that she got from us. I am so glad. Guys, we just kind of feel like this is kind of the end of this. So, and it's okay. We've got other things we're doing. We're still supporting the church in the Philippines that kind of started all this, going, 3 years ago, 4 years ago? I don't know.
Yeah,
how long has it been?
They just celebrated the 3rd anniversary.
So, we are still supporting them and all of that. It's just that the Bibles that we were giving here in the U.S., it was just so much fraud. We just didn't want to waste anybody's money. And Mike caught 99% of the fraud. I mean, he did. But we just wanted to be very...
There is a point where it occurred to me that if they weren't free, it would cut all the fraud.
Yeah.
Because... basically, people were creating lots of fictitious accounts and things, and if you have to put in a payment method, then you can't really do that.
Yeah.
But I found a place that they're cheaper. So on our page, I referred to there if people want to get them there too.
Peggy, my kids were rodeo riders. My son was a bull rider. Scary. Oh my goodness. I don't know if I could handle that. Ooh.
Oh man, the bull. I was looking at that thinking, wow, some kind of orthopedic doctor is going to get a whole lot of business off this, because man, it was pretty bad, pretty rough.
She's in her apron. Mike, give your woman a good rub down.
Oh, yes, I will.
Actually, I have to say, thank you. He has always been excellent. When I have a migraine or whatever, or I'm hurting, he will rub me in my calves and my neck and shoulders, and he's been great. I owe you a lot of money for massages.
Main reason we have kind of not been doing it so much lately is I hurt my thumb and I kept re-inflaming it. We had a massage therapist at one time that said they teach people in the massage school, don't use your thumbs.
Yeah.
So I was trying to get away from that, but it's improved greatly. So I was kind of doing it again the other day. So yeah.
Karen says it's so hot that my parsley is totally bleached. Oh my goodness. Wow. Gina, I have pretty peppers, just no flowers on them. Oh man, I have nothing yet. I have tomatoes that have set, and I have a couple of tomatoes. But my goodness, the deer and the rabbit, I just spent $34 on getting these sonic things for the garden to keep them out. And I go out there and they make this horrible
it's ultrasonic, but it's just where you can barely hear it, but it makes you feel like your brain is being microwaved.
And the two baby deer were standing there just having a smorgasbord this morning.
So the baby deer are completely immune to it, but we aren't. And the kids, wow, they can hear that ultrasonic a lot better than us.
Our hearing is going, but the kids, when they walk in, the boys are like, "Oh, Mom." I said, "I know, let me have a week trying it."
Well, actually, I can only barely hear the sound, but man, it makes my ears ring.
Send me 4.
I don't know what you mean.
Send me 4.
Oh, okay.
Kimberly says, I read a lot of the reviews, anywhere from 1 to 5 stars, and reviews actually dictate whether I will buy something. I got my dog a new diet. He's been eating real food now. He has no more allergies, and he's doing great. I just bought 4 pounds of quinoa, $10 on Superdale. So, Kimberly, for allergies, when we had Buster, I need 4.
What's the last part of 3? I didn't.
Kimberly Nash with her dog. When we had Buster, the Rachel Ray, I don't know if you've tried it or not, but the Rachel Ray, it was turkey and rice, I think. That worked really good for Buster, and it was fairly cheap.
One thing about reviews I forgot to mention earlier, you need to read the words of the reviews, because what I found out is, you said that was 4? I didn't note it. Because what I've discovered is that if you look at stars, a lot of times the stars aren't really accurate. And sometimes on Amazon, there's a scam where people will find some product that somebody had before, and they had 5 stars for something, and then they'll just take over that product and change the product name, but keep all the reviews. So you might be looking at buying a camera, and the reviews will be talking about shoes. And so it's a total scam. The other thing that I have found it's a really great thing for reviews is I go to a product, and if it says 5 stars if it only has 1 review, I tend to not buy it. But if it has like 100 reviews and it's perfect 5 stars, I'm suspicious of it. But if it's like 4.3 to 4.7 reviews, I'll look at the individual reviews, and I found that where you can click and it shows you the 5-star reviews and the 4-star and 3-star. I found that if you look at the 4-star and 3-star reviews, my thinking on that is those people want to like it, but something bothered them. So I read those in detail. I will look at the absolute worst ones and see what they say, but usually those people, they have some problem that's not necessarily related to the product. Like Tara said, they hate the seller or something like that. But I think if you read all the words for the 3- and 4-star reviews, it's easier to get a picture of what things you may love about it and what things you might not like. So, but I've also found that Amazon, if you look at the reviews that way, their reviews seem more accurate than like Walmart and Home Depot and Best Buy and stuff, because those places, the reviews are controlled on their website for the products that they sell there. So I think they seem less accurate than the Amazon ones. But again, I would never go by the stars. I always go by the words that people actually say.
I'm sorry I'm yawning, guys. I also cut out caffeine along with the sugar, dairy, and wheat. And so I have had the energy of a sloth. Last 10 days. I have no energy. So sorry, guys. Katie, what sandal works for your feet? So the Telic work, but then also I got one on Amazon that's just a Chinese knockoff, and it had 5 stars, and it really, it's really comfortable. I mean, but I think everybody's feet are different, and so it just depends on you. Let me see if I can find it here. Speaking, we need to test that card shuffler before it can't be returned.
Oh yeah. We haven't had people over. That's the problem.
Okay, here it is. Okay, so this is the one that I bought. You guys can see it. Whoops, I didn't mean to do that. How do I get out of here? Okay. Share screen. And now, like I said, they may or may not work for you, but from Amazon, so I can return them. But here they are. These ones I got. And these are super comfy. So I'll leave that up there for just a minute for you to write that down if you want. And Allison, Archie's cured my plantar's fasciitis, but they're sandals. Yeah, I do wear my sandals around the house all the time. So, but I need to start exercising more regularly now since I'm not doing so much heavy gardening. And I thought, okay, I hate walking. It just hurts. I don't like doing it. So I thought, well, wait a minute. Why don't I just go to the gym and do the exercise bike? So I'll probably start doing that again. Cookie Dough says, I put lemongrass essential oil on my feet for plantar fasciitis. It took about a month of daily use. Kicked it. Wow, that's interesting. Huh. And Saucony. I'll try. I'll give some of these a try, guys, because I don't mind. Ophis says, expert to myself. Margaret says, muddling through a lot of life changes, which includes cleaning up the house. The cleaning sense in the cookbook is an absolute navigation guide. Thank you so much. Yes, we have cleaning recipes in both our volume 1 and volume 2, but not only that, we have tips on how to clean. And we also have a whole how to organize ebooks set, which is also on sale on our shop. Go to livingonadime.com, click on shop, and you will find it there.
Which one?
Organizing ebook.
Okay.
Happy Go Lucky. Oh, yes. Yeah. So I did do a video on my shoes. I must have seen your comment or something and it registered for me. But yeah, I did. Oh yeah. Several people said that. Yeah. It hasn't stopped working. The Telics still work. I just am looking for a pair of tennis shoes. So, oh, Jerusalem, Israel. Hello. 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 We are supporters of Israel. That is for sure. Kenneth, proper English. I've got this Okie talk down. Yeah. Sue, have you tried Ultra shoes? I have not. I might try that. Well, thank you guys. I'll give some of these a try and see because, yeah, I need something. Karen says, I wonder if dollar stores still sell Bibles. They do, but they're the King James version, so they're kind of hard for people to read.
But if you go to our Bible page, we have them for $10. That includes the shipping. But I checked on Amazon by accident, sort of, and I discovered that the publisher, Tyndale, is selling the same ones we do for like $4 and something cents with free shipping if you have Prime. But if you don't have Prime, it still might be cheaper to buy them from the publisher through Amazon. So I linked that there because, yeah, you can get the King James ones at the Dollar Tree. But the reason we've sent the New Living Translation is because it's just way easier for people to understand. So for somebody who will just give up and not read the Bible at all, it's a much better translation for people. So yeah.
Okay. Let me see. You can erase some of the next if you have it. Bounty Badlands, did the peppermint oil help mitigate your headache? Actually, I'm not kidding. About 15 minutes after the show, it was completely gone and I felt like a new person. It really did help. So I started getting another one yesterday. I think what's happening is it's the fires. I'm highly allergic to smoke. And I have to always, when we have fire pits all the time, but I have to make sure I take my allergy medicine, because if I don't, I get horrid headaches being around our fire pit. And the smoke has been really bad the last 3 days with all the fires. So might have myself a little sniff here while I'm at it. Seeking Joy says Merrill walking shoes are comfortable. I might try that. I haven't done those. My oldest son used to wear those. He liked them.
Oh, that's another thing people are asking still about reviews. As I'm going to send you these. Donna says, I like to watch the video reviews on products I'm interested in buying. I like to do that too. And one thing I like to do when I look at reviews, including those, is think, how will I use it? And is what they say about this review relevant to me? So like on the product reviews for the business here, I was trying to buy some equipment we needed, like lights. And the one I was looking at that was recommended to me, you had to have an app on the phone and you had to have a special kind of internet router that almost nobody has. And I realized these people like this, but this will not be useful for us.
Yeah.
So if you could do that, that's also a helpful way to find out.
I'm sniffing peppermint oil. Somebody has Bounty in the Badlands suggested it for headaches in our last show. And I can feel I'm getting a headache again. So I thought, ooh, I'm going to sniff that while I'm
Thank
sitting
you,
here.
Bounty.
Yes, thank you so much. Amy, will be praying for your healing. Thank you. I feel like there is a piece to my fibromyalgia CFS that is missing, that if I could just get that figured out. I know.
What?
We've spent hundreds of thousands of
You're
dollars.
the one that's beating yourself up about that, and she's not meaning this year. She's meaning over the
over
course of 30 years.
But I keep feeling like there's something that can be done, and I feel like I have to keep trying. So anyway, and just Vicky, I have been on NAC for 18 months, and my allergies are still as bad. So I don't know. I'm not even quite sure why I'm taking. Oh yeah, I do know why I'm taking it now. But Mary Ellen says the nerve pain in my foot and legs is awful. Yeah, I started getting nerve pain in my arms really bad, waking up at night. I started alpha-lipoic acid, and that helped. And tart cherry, mom's on that for her neuropathy, and so I started that also, and it went away within like 3 or 4 days. So I was so thankful for that, because that was keeping me awake all night long. Kimberly, mine is just the damage done from Lyme disease and lupus. Yes. However, I know that medication can build up in your body and cause rebound effects like they do with a migraine. The doctor found I had very severe sleep apnea. Now I have a CPAP machine. I've never slept better in my life. Oh my goodness.
I think it's funny. What are you sniffing? That's a great question to ask a YouTuber who's just randomly sniffing something.
Now, I will say, since I've been off the sugar, I have slept. I know this. You can yell at me. Every time I go off the sugar, I swear I'm never going back on again. But my goodness, never eat a piece of coconut cream cake again in my life. But that's depressing. But I do sleep like a baby when I'm off the sugar. I really do. And what he said was, it may not be the cure-all for me, but it's probably one of the things that's causing it. And so until we go to the next step, he wants me off all of that first to try the next step before I do the ketamine or anything like that. He did say that if the pain gets too bad, I can go in and get local anesthetics for the pain and an IV solution of either ketamine or something else, and that will help calm it down also for me to get through the 12 months. So, Amy, we are going to Vermont in a few months for our anniversary.
Our 30th anniversary.
If neither one of us dies before then.
It's Tara's dream vacation, and I'm sure I will love it.
Okay, what do I do? Here's the question. They're going to think I'm crazy, but while you're sending me the next comments. If you croak the week before the vacation, do I still go?
Yep.
Or do I have your funeral instead?
Yeah, I just go.
Okay.
Just dig a hole in
You
the
guys
garden and
heard
chuck me in like you told me to do with you. We're in the Old West. Surely there's a pine box around here somewhere. That would be cool, an Old West funeral. Although then you'd have to stand me up in the box. No, that's the bad guys.
Standing you up in the box.
No, that's the bad guys. The gunfighters that get shot down.
Have you standing up against the pulpit for your...
No, I was thinking of the ones that they like put in front of the livery stable so everyone can see that the bad guys were caught or whatever. Not gonna be me. I'm the good guy.
Oh, my goodness gracious. In high school, Kenneth was Mr. Rodeo, and he couldn't even rope anything. But hey, the girls were the judges. That's hilarious. That's like when I was a bartender and I'd never had a drink in my life.
I was surprised on the roping. Man, so many of those people were doing it, and I was just thinking, it seems like it would be extremely difficult to do that, especially when in the team roping, when they rope, one gets the rope around the head of the steer and the other one gets rope up around the rear legs and gets both legs. That's so amazing to me that people could be that accurate throwing the lasso. So
yeah,
I'm proud of Wyoming and those who came here to do it.
Debbie says, try a diabetic tennis shoe. I found mine on Amazon. Yep, I might try that. I did try one Sketcher one, but it didn't work. Becky, I'm highly allergic to all three of those pain products. My face and joints swell up. Doctor told me to stop them. Wow. I was taking all of them in 2012 and it has worked. Wow. Cindy has bionic tennis shoes. I have not tried their bionic tennis shoes. The Hokas made mine worse. Yeah, the Hokas were awful. Well, and then I tried one pair that I bought from a company and they were like $110. I was like, okay, but if it solves my pain. Well, so first of all, it says you need to wear it 1 to 2 hours a day for 3 to 5 days and it will break them in. But then the shoes get here and I get an email saying, okay, to break in your shoes, you have to wear them for 2 to 3 hours a day. And if you want to return them, they have to be and you have to do it for 7 to 10 days, 2 to 3 hours a day for 7 to 10 days. And then if you want to return them, they have to be absolutely brand new, unused condition. Seriously, I'm actually doing a video on this. And I emailed the company and I said, I looked at your return policy and it said 1 to 2 hours a day, or I can't remember the exact numbers. It was something like that. And I said, this is not the same. Who's going to keep a pair of shoes completely pristine, having to wear them for 20 to 40 hours? That's crazy. Teresa wants you to get a lasso. Yeah, we should have. Okay, you need to go to Amber and Paul and Amber's, and see if you can lasso one of their horses.
Well, they have that little. There's a little,
yeah,
a little steer model. It's like a little plastic thing that's in the shape of a steer's head, and the girls throw lassos at it, and that's how they trained them to be able to throw lassos. So, but I'm pretty impressed with what all the people do that do all the range and stuff. Well, I'm surprised that I forgot what it's called again. The bridle, is that what it is?
Yeah.
Or no, there's another word they had for it. Where they have a knot on it, and when they're riding along on the ranch, if they encounter a rattlesnake, they can just whip it from what is it called? You said a different word earlier today. It's I
said the bridle.
They could just whip it with the end of the bridle and kill the rattlesnake from on the horse. Just pretty amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, Mom's on here, and my dad was a roper for a long, long time.
What?
Yes, I did know that, Mother. Yeah. My dad was a trick rider. Did you not know that? There's Grandma had pictures of him. Was it Dad? I don't remember if it was Dad on the horse or if Aunt Kathleen was on the horse and Dad was doing something else. But he was a trick rider. I mean, my family was cowboys.
I guess I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
I thought they were farmers
Ranchers.
I thought they were ranchers that didn't
Well,
ranch anything.
They were after the 50s when they did all that, 60s, whenever they did all that conservation stuff. But before that, they were farmer and ranchers. But yeah, I mean, ranchers have to do all that stuff. Elizabeth, what's the problem with ibuprofen? So first of all, it is hard on your liver and all that, but what the doctor told me also, and there's a blood test you can have for this, so I got to go get the blood test, but he said that those things build up and it builds up some sort of fat in your body, and then your resistance goes down to it, so you have to take more and more and more. But he said what they're noticing is people will go in for like knee replacement, and they're taking huge amounts of these things, and then they'll have a heart attack right before the knee replacement because they went off all of the ibuprofen and stuff. So I got to go get a blood test to see if I'm a problem with that. If I don't have a problem with that, I don't know if I need to stay off of it or not, though. That's what he wasn't clear on. So I got to get the blood test first and see, and then.
Well, I'm just kind of going with it, but
I'll just keep sniffing my peppermint.
But there are times where doctors tell her things like quit the tea, and she's quit the tea about a dozen times and never ends up being the tea. So some of these things I'm like, well, let's just see what happens. I could understand how the ibuprofen thing could be a problem, because at one point before I had knee surgery, the doctor was telling me to take ibuprofen for that, and eventually I felt like my heart was skipping a beat, and went to the doctor and said, I feel weird about this. Feels like I got punched in the chest and my heart's skipping a beat, but all the heart tests say I have great heart. He said, well, if that ever happens, you have to go to the ER. So I went to the ER, and eventually they said, you're taking too much ibuprofen.
And he stopped it and it went away.
I stopped it and it stopped.
Yeah.
But apparently ibuprofen, the effect of reducing inflammation also reduces whatever it is that prevents you from getting too much stomach acid. So that's where I realized, oh yeah, I guess you can't just, the doctor says take ibuprofen doesn't mean keep taking it for a long time.
Crystal, this may be too personal. Just wondering if you had any issues getting pregnant with any of your kids because of your health issues. I am going through a lot of health issues and infertile. No, I am fertile myrtle. Waiting to do the show, pregnant at 52. No. No. Well, I mean, we would be happy but no. Yeah, there are things to help with that.
we would think God knows what he's doing, but
yeah. There's no plans for that at all.
Yeah, that's not the plan.
But if it happened, we would be fine. Wanda got a book review the other day, and it was hard to do and not give out too much details about the story itself. Oh, that's funny. She gave a book review. Wanda said that. Donna, Cane Footwear, looks like a nice upscale sport type Croc shoe. The family from the show outdaughtered as part of the development of those. Karen, I almost got rid of all my leg and nerve pain by taking 600 of alpha-pyloric acid and biotin every day. Yes, I am on both of those. Approved by my neurologist and over the counter. Yep. No side effects. Yep. You can send me the next one. Teresa, is your second toe longer than the rest? No. Mine is, and I could barely walk some days. I put too much weight on it, and going up and down the ladder really hurts. Stress fracture on the second toe. I bought pain relieving cream, soaked my foot 10 minutes, hot water, can stand it. 10 minutes ice. Do that for 2 hours in the evening. Holy cow, you poor thing. She has to sleep with it propped up. Claudia, thank you. Yes, you can watch this on replay. Donna, I like to watch video reviews of products I buy. It's interesting. Yep. Oops, I'm deleting these. I need to go back in my trash because I had shoe recommendations.
Yeah, that's why I put more I normally would have put because of the shoe recommendations.
Kathy, then what is someone supposed to take for pain? Well, yeah, I've just got to suck it up for the next 3 months.
Peppermint and mic rubbing. Hopefully that works.
Yeah, I don't know.
And hot baths.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, I just paid $30 for insert. I mean, I've paid $200 for inserts where I had them custom made at the ortho, and they were awful. But yeah.
Did you get that message?
Let's see if it got here. Aha! Oh, and in between, Carol sent me a message. Thank you, Carol. I just saw that come in. Teresa, I can't go barefooted anywhere. Yeah, I don't do barefooted anymore very much either. Connie, happy anniversary on your business. Oh my goodness, Connie. I have been with you from the start when you and I were on the online group together. Was that the November 97 or was that Frugal Living? Back in the late 90s, I bought your very first cookbook, Not Just Beans, which I'm still using today. Buy Tar's books. Guys, 40% off right now. And Connie, if you want to email me, editor@livingonadime.com, I will send you a set of our cookbooks because you have been with us.
Is that Connie Gunn?
For 25 years. No.
Oh, no. Connie
it's
Howard.
another. Yeah.
All right.
That is crazy. Yes. 40% off, guys, our cookbooks. Easy recipes. Get you in and out of the kitchen quick. Start with our volume 1. Volume 2 is just the continuation. And then our gluten-free, dairy-free edition. Easy recipes your family will love with cheap ingredients that you can get easily at your grocery store on sale and save money. Kimberly, the home cleaning recipes have saved me so much money. I clean mostly with vinegar and Dawn. Sometimes I'll have alcohol or hydrogen peroxide. Other than that, I only bleach occasionally. Very good. Teresa bought the red cookbook. She can't read it because her grandkids are always learning to cook. They don't want me to mess their bookmarked pages up. Oh dear, I see a Christmas present for them. Karen says, I've been searching and trying for 33 years also. I know there's something missing, but I also can't figure it out. Yep. I'm going to keep trying until I'm dead. Might kill me doing it, but I'm going to do it anyway.
Might kill me doing it too.
Sod Cam, I really like the Zero shoes. I like them because they're really wide and really flat, so your toes have space and your Achilles doesn't tighten up, and I have absolutely no heel pain. Huh. I have tried Brooks, Becca, but thank you for the suggestion. Jane O'Moore, about an exercise bike. Yep, I think I'm just going to go the Y and do that. We have a Y membership anyway, so. In the kitchen with Grandma says, soak your feet in Epsom salt, castor oil, in a glass brown jar. Use Queen's castor oil from Amazon. Huh. Yeah, I have some of that. I could try that. Sue, anyone have suggestions for insomnia? Well, first of all, I went off the caffeine and sugar, and I'm telling you, I've been sleeping great for the last 10 days. So, it's no fun. I'm not going to say it is, but you might try it. So for nerve pain, I'm taking alpha lipoic acid.
Oh.
And tart cherry capsules. Kenneth says the rapture will cure our allergies. Oh man, I can't wait. Yes. Thank you, Beverly. We appreciate the prayers. Brownie in the Badlands, coconut cream, yuck, lemon meringue is my nemesis. Oh man, I love coconut. Coconut cream cake was my favorite for my birthdays. And if you're dairy-free, gluten-free, oh my goodness, it is so good. Like me, it is so good. It is so good. Caroline, I found if I don't drink any alcohol, I suffer fewer migraines. Yeah. For me, dairy, alcohol, nitrates all cause my migraines. All right. Teresa, get you a lasso and try it. Make sure you do a video. Oh, yeah, I did that one.
Did you not
Leave him in the parlor forever months. What does that mean?
I think she might mean for a few months.
Leave who in the parlor?
In the Old West, they would, when somebody died, they would leave them in the parlor.
Oh! Oh, my. Okay, yeah, we're going to stand you up next against the fireplace. And
who would have to put deodorant on me? That's the thing.
I'll let Jack do it.
I'm Mr. Don't like to smell bad. So.
You'll be dead.
I know, but I won't be able to stand. I'll smell so bad, I'll be able to wake the dead. Oh, that'd be gross.
Diana Tara, I can send you a Tupperware container for you to Mike to just make sure you burp him before you leave. Oh my goodness. Michelle, I had plantar fasciitis bad. Would put my feet in the snow in the pain. Good feet. Store scans. Yes, I have tried those. Also, I do ice them, and that does help also. Cheryl says, stand me up beside the jukebox when I die. Yep.
I think that's from a song.
Is it?
I can't recall.
You can send me the last one.
Okay.
Little Crafty Nook, one of my ex-boyfriends was big into rodeo when he was younger. I had his first belt buckle for a long time. I sent it back to his daughter after he passed. Oh, that was nice.
That's one thing I noticed that I didn't realize this till we lived in Wyoming, that the people that compete in the rodeo wear these humongous belt buckles.
Well, Grace has one. Jack's friend. It's huge.
It's bigger than that
Yeah.
even.
Let's see. Janet, yes. Alpha lipoic acid and tart cherry capsules.
Yep.
What were the shoes that someone mentioned with the big toe area? Let me see. Where did I talk about that? Oh shoot, can you guys put it back in there? Oh, zero. She said zero shoes. So I've never heard of those ones. So I might try those too. I don't know. I'll just start going down the list and trying them. One day I've used prescription naproxen, and I would have to quit it sometimes for a while because of the side effects. There you go. Yeah, that's why I take every night to sleep. But hey, I've made it 40 hours. I'm not doing too bad.
I finally got off the naproxen too. Just because the doctor told me as a prescription he would give people like 2 in the morning and 2 in the afternoon, but I didn't get the memo on that. And the next time I saw him months later, he said, but I would only do that for like 10 days or something.
Yeah.
Because it's over the amount that the label says. I was like, oh, great. So I've been overdosing myself.
Yeah.
So I kind of.
Hello, Guy from Pennsylvania. And Kenny says, I couldn't lasso anything, but I could make friends with horses, cows, border collies, goats, etc. I knew I loved them. Oh, that's funny. So I just deleted it, but let me see if my mom sent us the best lawnmower idea. And let's see, I deleted it because I had already looked at it, but oh shoot, where'd it go? Oh crud. Let's see. Hold on, let me see if I can find it here. History. It was right before. Hold on. It was so funny. So and it's actually a brilliant idea. They oh, here, is this it? Let's see. Hold on, guys. Okay, yeah, here, look at this. It's actually a brilliant idea. I'm like, who do we know that has goats? And they called it their push lawnmower. Look at this. They made a pen on wheels for 2 goats. And then they push it around. I'm like, that's brilliant.
That is really brilliant.
That's what we need.
Yeah.
Isn't that what we need?
Yep.
I think that's what we need. I can just feel it. Okay. Let's see. Let me go back to my comments here that I lost.
Oh, Rob is on. Hey, Rob.
Rob, hello. I saw your thing on your community tab about learning about lawnmowers or something. I can't remember what he was talking about now, but I saw it. I didn't comment yet. Guy, you use your lamps to save electricity or just for decor? See on your counter. My counter. Oh, these decor ones over here? Those are just decor, but we do have them so that if we need to use them, we can. But they are just decor. And I have more in the house that we can actually use if we needed to. Guy says exercise helps with insomnia. Yep. Roxanne, not medical advice. I give my family hawthorn and moringa natural supplements to help with headaches. Yeah, moringa, I have heard, helps also. Family Badlands, I need to fix calf formula for my bucket babies. I'm giving them extra special massages for your Wagyu beef. Oh, is that where we're getting it? Thank you.
You have to massage the cows, apparently. That's part of the Wagyu beef thing.
Well, it's tasty, and it's one of the beefs that doesn't make me sick. So I don't know what's in it, but it is one of the beefs that doesn't make me sick.
How'd you do on the beef in Europe?
Fine.
They don't do the corn in Europe.
Oh, really? Yeah. I'm wondering if it's the corn, maybe. I don't know.
Although I thought it tasted a little off in Europe with the grass.
Well, that's because there's no fat in it.
Is that what it is?
That's why they started doing it, because the fat comes from the grain fed at the end of this is the thing. They're grass-fed their whole entire life, except for like the last 2 or 3 months. And they send it to the feedlot, and then they add grain, and that puts the fat on.
Oh, gotcha.
But
Rob from Little House Off Grid, go check out his channel, guys. Says, don't forget you have to buy goat feed in the winter, so if you use them for a lawnmower.
no, I was thinking about just borrowing goats from friends.
And then sending them back in the winter.
Sending them back in the winter. Although, now that it's so hot, our lawn mowing has been cut drastically now because we only water part of it.
We're lazy mowers at the moment.
Mom P, yes, I have done 10s unit. Karen, Tara, until they slide down the hill. I know, I was thinking we'd have to put rocks on the wheels.
Yeah.
But
Wanda said, I watched a channel that just got a robotic mower like a Roomba, but it costs about $3,000 or more. We actually saw those. And at the time, when they first came out, they were like $5,000. I thought, wow. Well, if it were closer to the cost of a regular mower, that would be great. And people were saying great things about them, but I didn't want to spend that much. Now that the price is getting closer to a regular mower, the ratings aren't that high. So I was like, now I hate to spend that much and find out that it's a dud. So we're still procrastinating.
Yeah, Susan, I do stretch my feet too. That does help. Heather, do you think a vacuum mop is worth the money? Actually, I bought one last year on clearance for $50. It was $100. I bought it for $50, and I don't like it. As a matter of fact, I'm going to sell it. I've only used it like 4 or 5 times because it's kind of a pain, and it doesn't actually clean that well.
Gina says in Arkansas, you can rent a goat.
Oh, my goodness.
Nice.
Drink the goat milk and sell the manure to get grass. Sell the manure to get the grass mowed. Oh, my goodness. Hey, I think we're on to something here. Guys, do you think we should get a goat? I think we should get a goat. If you guys vote that we should get a goat, then Mike has to get a goat.
What? Mike has to get a goat, and Mike will not be the caretaker for the goat. Mike is done being a caretaker for animals.
Mike is not a farm boy. Oh, everybody's saying
Not
we
anymore.
should get a goat. It's like a zoo around here anyway. What's a goat gonna do? We got deer, we got pheasant, we got rabbits, we got squirrels, we got raccoons.
Problem is they don't eat the things we want, which is actually what I've heard people say, that their goats also don't eat the things that you want them to eat. Although when you put them in a fence like that and just roll it around, I guess they can't get to the hostas.
Yeah.
Or deer take the hostas that are like 2 feet tall and they mow them completely to the ground.
Yeah.
If we are unable to get them under control.
Vicky, do a shoe review show. Expenses paid. Yeah, I should actually.
Another wannabe says not sure, but I think you need to have 2 because they get lonely. Well, that's interesting.
Oh,
Doesn't
brother.
surprise me. Joanne says, now you'll have to write a sugar-free cookbook if your sugar-free thing goes well. Wanda
The
says,
problem is there is no good sugar-free alternative. So
Wanda thinks that Bandana Grandma rented goats and just did a video about it.
well,
Susie, are you on right now?
Or Eva says you could sell the goat milk to people that make goat soap. I could just start making goat milk soap again. Brother, they
Wow.
will eat everything. So according to the people we've heard, they don't actually eat everything. But
Well, I've heard that they eat everything, but they eat what they want first, and then they eat the stuff you want them to eat later. So after they eat all the good stuff, which is maybe the stuff you want to keep, then they'll eat the other stuff.
brother, yeah. All right, 25th anniversary sale, 40% off our cookbooks, guys. livingonadime.com. We are doing this for the month of July because it is the 25th anniversary of our website. And Tara, I need a healthy replacement for Hostess type snacks. Any suggestions? No, I mean, you can't replace a ding dong. I'm sorry.
What is it?
Or a Twinkie.
What was it?
A ding dong and a Twinkie is still a ding dong and
What
a
was
Twinkie.
the question?
Healthy alternatives. I mean, eat a banana or an apple, I guess, but
I mean,
sorry.
That's
The problem with writing a sugar-free cookbook. There really is no good sugar-free alternatives. Now, you can do things like have frozen bananas with blueberries or strawberries and have a smoothie type thing. but there really is no good alternative. So
One thing though, if you can, I know bananas aren't the same as Hostess cupcakes. Trust me, I know.
I'm sorry, it's not even close.
But what I was going to say is, though, if you manage to keep yourself away from them for long enough, I did find that some of those other foods taste better than they. Like I notice if I eat a lot less sugary things, then the non-sugary things eventually taste better to me than they tasted before.
I guess.
It still never replaces the Hostess cupcakes, though. Those are just too good. So.
Actually, I can't use dates because dates give me headaches.
Yeah.
And I can't have chocolate because cut chocolate gives me headaches. So,
what is this chocolate-covered bananas? There you go. That solves the problem right there.
Well, and I mean, you could do like really, really dark chocolate and do really, really dark chocolate with bananas, and you could do something like that. But I mean, it ain't gonna replace a ding dong or a ho ho. Sorry.
That's why people like ho-hos.
That's why people eat the ho-hos and the ding dongs.
Yeah, it's like crack. It's like have some sugar, and not the good kind in Ireland. All right.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
I'm sharing the link one more time for the sale, and it says like Dino Dime cookbooks on it, but it's everything is on sale. The cookbooks, the ebooks, the e-courses, and like there's the How to Save Money on Groceries e-course. There's 2 How to Make Bread books.
Yep.
There's like crock pot recipes, which people are really liking right now, and no bake stuff. So those are great for the summer. So if you need some great ideas, they're 40% off. So. And
this is what not drinking caffeine does to you.
Actually, you're still looking pretty awesome, my love.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. I can't even imagine how great you're going to look after Vermont. I think she's really going to like it. I think I'll probably like it too, but I can more imagine her liking it right now.
I got this peppermint oil. It is 16 ounces off of Amazon. I use it for my soap making. So anyway, okay. livingonadime.com. We will see you guys next time. Have a good night.
Bye.